Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at rebuilding Atlantis coil for your Aspire Atlantis tank. Okay, so let's put that aside. You'll see this one is going to be a rebuild. It's going to be a horizontal coil instead of a vertical coil, because it's more of an easy way to remake your coils instead of doing the vertical one. Vertical ones can be fairly temperamental and irritating. So let's put that to one side. You can see here I've got my Japanese cotton pads, very nice. And here also I have 26 gauge of Canthal wire, heat resistant. I'm going to have a look at this. I haven't actually looked at this yet. Seems quite nice and thick. Yeah, it feels like the same sort of thickness as the coils that are already in there. So I'll be playing with this. Have a little go coiling our own coils. Alright, there we go. Got some wire now. Got some crappy wire cutters. I'm going to guesstimate here. I'm going to probably take off more than I need because that'll be a little bit easier. It's probably going to be about 6 inches or so. Yeah, maybe about 7. So let's give that a little cut. There we go. Let's put that to one side, make sure it's safe. Let it fall, and then we'll get our cotton. Now, this is fairly cheap stuff. It cost me $3.98 for the lot, no postage. So I'm going to get me, there's 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You said 5? Yeah. So I'm going to need one of these. Put the rest to one side. It's quite thick, quite nice and dense. But you'll notice there was 2 compressed layers. There's a compressed layer there. There's also a compressed layer on the other side. And in the middle of those 2 layers is the fluffy stuff. That's the good stuff. So first of all, I'm going to take off this first compressed layer. Actually, no, I'm going to cut it to size first. This will probably be better if I do that. So 2 minutes. Grab my scissors. Now, a good way of probably measuring how much you need to cover the holes that are in the Atlantis tank. Today I'm only going to be covering this hole and the opposite corresponding hole. These 2 holes that go straight through I'm going to leave open, and you'll probably see why later. So I'm going to use this as a way of measuring out how big I'm going to need a piece of the cotton. So I'm guessing that's about 1/4 of an inch, something like that. I'm only going to measure this by eye. So yeah, you don't need lots and lots. A pair of sharp scissors is probably paramount right here. That's a size. So now I'm going to separate the compressed layers from the fluffy stuff. And the other side as well. Yeah, we want this fluffy stuff, this good fluffy stuff. This is. So you got your cotton, and you got this. So you best prepare your coil. Take that off, keep it to one side, keep it safe. You're going to need that. The rubber grommet, we want to take that out. So I'm going to use a little needle nose pliers. Be gentle, of course, because this is it's a thermal protective collar for your cables. So yeah, you do want to be not rough with it, of course. Don't rip it out. Be gentle. This one's not coming out. There we go. I've got it. So keep your grommet and your little end cap safe. Then you have a simple straight through hole. And what you're going to want to do with your cotton now is kind of just roll it up on itself, little sausage, don't compact it too much. Nothing wrong with a little bit of compaction. Roll it up, and then one end, really make that tight. Really make that tight. You notice with natural cottons, they have little bits of bark and stuff from the actual plant, cotton plant itself. That's not a problem. It's all natural, so you want that kind of stuff, really. Organic and that. Be gentle with it because this stuff is fragile. Once again, just get your little pointy bit at the end there, and that's going to help you a little bit later. Right, on to the coil itself. I've got a little tool here. It's just like a 3mm piece of metal rod. Now, I'm going to start off with a little excess length, like that. I literally just want to wrap this around tight, very tight on itself. And I'm going to wrap this about 8 times. So that's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you want to press that all together. Make sure it's all nice and tight. And you make this, compress it all together. Give each end a little pull with your pliers to make sure the coil is tight. We want a tight coil around the actual pole itself. Make sure that's all squished together. Nice and tight. I do apologise if I wasn't in shot just then. So you can see there, got a good couple of wraps around that, which is nice. You need that, so a couple of wraps. Like I say, make sure you give it a good squeeze together. Compress those wires. May want to hold it for a bit so they retain the shape. You can even take it off, give it a good old squeeze down like a little spring. That's good. Don't mind me, I'm just rolling tune between myself. Oh, I dropped it. But as you can see, it's quite a nice. My focus isn't very good on it. It's a nice, tidy little looking coil there. You know, perfectly round on the inside. So you're looking for like a little bit smaller than 3 mils in the inside diameter of the coil. Also, you want it to be able so it fits in there loosely. This is a bit tight, so I do need to press this and squeeze this down as much as possible. And I will attempt to do that. This is really, really tight. It might help if I get this back on the podium. So yeah, this is my first obviously video, so it might be a bit rubbish, and I do apologise for the poor qualities of my video making abilities. Obviously, eventually, once I start making a few more, I will probably remake this coil better. Yeah, this is going to take some time to compress, so once again I will probably cut and come back to you with a nice compressed coil. Make sure you can give it a little test, see if it comes up through the top there. You want it to be loose fitting, you know, free fitting. You don't want it touching the sides really. So I might take a couple of wraps off of this just to give it that space that it needs. Yeah, look. Focus. It won't focus, but you get the idea. Make sure that's nice and squeezed. Of course, probably best to feed it through the bottom. Make sure there's no resistance, and that's pretty good. I'm going to keep it like that. So it's 6 wraps of coil and a tiny little pole. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another little tool that I had somewhere, and I'm going to put the coil in through the bottom, match it up to the holes, and as you can see here, got a little pole. This fit through the hole of the first one. Let's put this side. Maybe it won't. Get the idea, right? I've also got a little crochet hook here. Make sure that the coil is like somewhat central, sitting freely in there. Yeah, it should be fine like that, I think. Yeah, I'm being too retarded, I think, but that's okay, we can live with it. Right, now what you want to do, two end wires, you want to get your rubber grommet again and have one of these wires on the inside, so put the wire through it so it hangs off like so, and one on the outside, and we've got to make sure there's a little groove right in there, bend that right over, set it over the top, that's it, and then make sure that your rubber grommet is in the correct position. They do have little tags that sit inside those little grooves. There you go, the little grommet's in, and then bend that over the other side. There you go, two wires, one on each side, one on the outside, one on the inside. Get your little metal end piece that attaches to the battery, makes that connection, and push that in. There we go, and that's that. That will keep your coil in there now. And of course, you want to get your wire cutters. So yeah, you want to make sure that those cables are quite flush once you've done all this. I hope I got the end bit for you guys to see. And that, yeah, make sure they're all flush. Yeah, my pliers are pretty rubbish, so I can't actually get a good clean flush cut, but that's okay, I think I can live with that. What I'm going to do is bend it up so it's out of the way at least. I'm not going to get caught in with the threads when I screw this back in. We don't want that, we don't want it getting in the way. That should be fine, I think. There we go. Right, now this pole should be able to come out nice and easy. And that little hook I had earlier, just give it a little tweak here and there, make sure it's central and not touching the sides. And what you want to do is get your threaded piece of cotton, thread that through. Make sure, like, again, you've got a nice thin bit there. And pull on that. I've gone and done it. Here we go. So I'm going to pull that through, so you've got a nice fluffy bit on the inside. This fluffy bit, fluffy. We want it fluffy. Now, once again, I do apologise for the quality of my filmmaking abilities, because I'm pretty useless. You want to make sure, once again, that the coil is set in the middle of your machine, so it's not touching the sides. So, kind of want to put it back and forth a little bit, You kind of want to maybe even get your little tool and fluff it up inside of there. Alright. And then what you want to do, get your sharp scissors. After I've put them, this is the simple part. Cut that flush as you can. Leave a little bit on this end there. You don't want to cut it and tell people how to do stuff, so you'll have to excuse me. And obviously with your little spiky tool, what you want to do now is very gently, without pushing it on the inside, fluff up that little bit of cotton around the outside. You can feel it quite compact and stuff in there, so make sure you fluff that out nicely. Fluffy. Got to be fluffy, everybody. On the other side. Fluffy. This will help it feed better into your coil. Yeah, fluffy. Make sure it's fluffy. It's nice and fluffy, if you ask me. And that is pretty much it. That is the coil already in there and ready to go. Again, I'm just going to really double make sure that my coil is not going to touch the sides. Fluff that out, fluffy, fluffy. And there we have it. That's that. Here's the tank. This is obviously the pre-made coil in here at the moment. I'll take that out for you guys to see now. This one is pretty dank now. I've been using it regularly. I don't know if you can see in there all too great, but it's a bit black and a bit charred in there. It's a bit nasty. I will be showing you how to recoil one of these, because I will be recoiling this with the original wire that's already in there, with cotton instead of the ceramics that are in there. So I will be doing a video on that. Probably a little bit easier than wrapping your own coil, because it's already wrapped if you can do your best to keep it in its original shape. So yeah, let's put that down for a sec, and then whoop, where'd that go? It's gone. I've lost it. Do bear with me. Oh, I'm such a silly person. Right, there we have it. So, once again, everybody, prime your coils, which I'm now going to do. Must prime your coils, because it's very important to prime them. If you don't prime them, you will regret it, trust me. So, got a little dripper syringe. Soak that epically, soak it. Really soak that up, yeah. Soak, soak, soak. Put loads in, put 1/2 mil on there already. Yep. Thoroughly soaked, if you ask me. It's starting to drip everywhere. So let that sit. Let that absorb all that goodness, because trust me, you don't want to dry hit. I've done it thinking it would be okay to dry hit the thing. No. So let it soak a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, you know, regular maintenance on these things are key. You know, make sure if you've got a bit of tissue, sit that on the tissue, let it drain out. Every now and then, you know, let it just clean it with a bit of cotton bud or whatever. Once again, mouthpieces, everybody. I'll show you how I clean my mouthpieces. Take it off, like I said. If you've watched any of my previous videos, blow through it. You might be able to see in there, there's a bit of pocket fluff and other bits and bobs, you know, I've stuck it in my pocket. Clean cotton bud. Once again, these are natural cotton buds, I think. So it gives that a good clean. See that? See all that gunk? This is what you don't want. On these mouthpieces, the mouthpieces that come with it, you'll notice that there's like a little lip right there. Get your cotton bud, twist that around. There you go. All that gunk, it's build up on the inside. Just make sure you give it a good thorough clean, because we don't want that gunk. That gunk is bad. Well, it's not bad, but it won't hurt you, but it will obviously prolong that. You don't want it dripping back in your coil, because it's already vapoured liquid, and you don't want that dripping back in there. So I think we can call that a coil primed. It's nice and soggy on there. I am going to fit this into this part of my coil, because you have to be careful with, see the little gaps here, you have to be careful with your cottons that are sticking out of there now. Once you put that in, you preferably want them to be in that gap, but they can be pulled out by the protrudingness of the little pegs that stick up there. I don't know what to call them. There you go. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to fill this up. It's a good time to actually figure out how many mils this thing holds. So, there's 1 mil straight in. Two mil. Three mil. So they say that it's like a 2 or 3 mil capacity. Yeah, you can fill it up a little bit more though. That's 3 and 3 thirds. Don't wanna fill it right up. Nearly to the top, everybody, but not too close to the top, because when you put this back on, you don't want it leaking everywhere. But I'm not entirely sure why this isn't vaping to its the coil is getting hot. It might be the fact that I'm just primed it and it's just like a new coil. I don't really know. So there is vape. I wouldn't say that was as productive as like it should be. Maybe it might be shooting back because I spilled it everywhere. Who knows? I don't know. That was good. It works, but it's not good. Maybe I won't be putting this online. Maybe I will put it online. Maybe you can tell me what I've done wrong. I don't know. But hey ho, what can you do?